I will present a scenario under the poetic but also generic title, Inside Myself, Outside Myself. I think the reason it's generic is because when the title was set, no one knew what LARP would be about. So the project was initiated by Nina, who you've met here, and also Marie Holm Andersen, and it was presented at Black Box Copenhagen in 2014, I think. Now, this LARP is not presented because it had a fancy venue or visual appeal. So this is the only picture I have of the LARP. But it was basically people in a black box. So you can imagine, I think. So Nina and Marie gathered LARP designers and performance artists to create a scenario together in 2 days, and there were plenty of challenges with this. So 2 days production time, and people from very different backgrounds. Now, the biggest challenge, I think, was how to communicate to participants in this festival, communicate the rules and the premise of the scenario, and let them play the scenario in less than 2 hours. And also the fact that it's a random number of participants coming to the game. Now, a general rule in participation design is that you always have to tell the audience the rules of the LARP or the piece you do, and also the premise of the scenario. That's the way you make them engage with the scenario. And otherwise you run the risk that the audience that comes to your work will just default into passive spectator mode. And I've seen that happen a lot of times. But there are other approaches which can be seen quite clearly in computer game design, for example. So when you start playing Mario, you are not told the rules, and you are not told the goal of the game. I can say game. You just engage with Mario, and there is no explanation. The story is not that strong, I would say. But engaging with Mario and trying out what Mario can do is a part of the experience of the LARP, of the game. One participant in Inside Myself, Outside Myself, Simon James Petit, he's an alumni, maybe he's here? No? I saw him in the lake. He wrote a game report that he expected introduction or workshop to start things off, but there were none. So what did we do instead? Well, when the participants entered the black box, the designers, now performers, were standing in the room in the shape of sculptures. So the participants entered and they saw all those sculptural bodies. Okay, and I will try to argue now that what we produce was a kind of call for action, because all those sculptures had different positions. So, for example, I was sitting like this, with my hands in front of me, like creating a space, and I was still until someone from the audience put their shoe in the hole I formed with my hands. So my position kind of asked for someone to do that at some point, and they did. And then the only thing I could do in this first part of the Larp was to untie people's shoes. So that's what I did. So that was the call for action part. Okay, I'm running short already. Sorry. So every sculpture was basically a puzzle, and they were unlocked one after the other. And I don't know how like a non-LARPing audience would react to this situation of freezing people in a room, but maybe playtesting is the only way to answer that. Okay, so call for action could be an alternative to actually telling the rules. And in the second and third act, we used another principle that I would like to call emergence. And I'll have to wing it because I have 1 minute. But the idea with emergence is that you can create one or a couple of simple rules, and those simple rules create a complicated or unforeseen situation. And in Act 2 and 3 of this LARP, in Act 2, the rule that the performers knew was one thing. You can copy what you see audience members do. So that produced a lot of content. And in the third act, we knew that we could teach the audience what we had learned. And that was that produced an emergent situation in the third act. So basically what I wanted to say is that with very small means, like 3 simple rules, you can produce 1 full LARP. So that's it. Thank you.